Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video today, and today we're going to be talking about some Houston Rockets basketball as I'm going to be making my predictions for tomorrow's NBA Draft Lottery, which the Draft Lottery is under 24 hours away, 23 hours away from the Draft Lottery. It's going to be exciting. At 1 o'clock tomorrow, I'm going to say 2 o'clock Eastern time. If you live in Houston, so Central time, it is 1 o'clock. I live in Houston, so it will be at 1 o'clock if you're a Houstonian. But I will say 2 Eastern time if you live somewhere else. But this is a draft. This is going to be a very big draft lottery. Now, it's not going to be as exciting and anticipating as it was last year's. Last year, we were waiting to see where Victor Wembanyama was going to land. It's not like this year, oh my God, who's going to get this player? It's not really like that. Honestly, it's the kind of year where, you don't know who's going to go number one. You don't. It reminds me like a 2020 draft or 2022 draft. Like if you look at 2020 draft, I know some good players came out of that. Look at Anthony Edwards, who's having success right now. You got, you got LaMelo Ball, who's been good. But if you look at the top 3 picks of LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, and James Wiseman, nobody really knew who was going to go number 1. Ant went 1. James went 2 and LaMelo went 3, but no one knew what the order was going to be. There were some rumors that the Timberwolves might take, LaMelo Ball, that people thought that they would end up taking LaMelo Ball. There was rumors flying everywhere about the top 3 of that draft pick, of that draft. And then if you go to the 2022 NBA draft, you had Jabari, Chet Holmgren, and who was the other guy in that draft? Paulo. So you had Paulo, Chet, and Jabari Smith Jr., a Rockets player. And there was we really didn't know who was going to go number 1. Magic had number 1. They took Paulo, of course, but there was rumors they might take Jabari, who is in a Rockets uniform now. There were rumors that they might take Chet, and there was rumors they might take Paulo. The Rockets were interested in Paulo Banchero. They were interested in Jabari. Now, I don't know if they were interested in Chet. I don't think they really had any interest in Chet Holmgren because they had Şengün. But I mean, yeah, that was an interesting draft. And no one really knew who was going to go 1. Paulo went 1. I thought Jabari might go 1. That was another draft where you really didn't know who was going to go 1. But you had a 2021 NBA draft where you knew Cade Cunningham was going to go 1. You had a 2023 NBA draft where you knew Victor Wembanyama was going to go number 1. This year, you don't know who's going to go number 1. And it very well might depend on who gets the first overall pick. But the Rockets could have 2 draft picks in this draft, but it's very unlikely it gets to that. The Rockets have their own pick, which belongs to OKC. But there is a 7% chance that the Houston Rockets could keep their pick. It's not a great chance. I mean, you got at 100%, you got 7%. So you got a 7.1% to if your pick gets into the top 4. Because if that pick goes into the top 4 for the Rockets, which this draft pick for the Rockets has the 12th best odds out of all draft picks, then you would see the Rockets keep their own pick. But that's very unlikely that happens. It's a 7% chance. It's not going to happen. But then you have the other pick that we have, which is number 9. It has the 9th best odds. This is the Brooklyn Nets pick that we own because of the James Harden trade. So it'll be very interesting to see where this pick could land. This draft pick has a 20% chance to get in the top 4. 4.5% to get in the number 1 overall. So I'm going to make predictions where these 2 draft picks at the Rockets land. Number 12 that belongs to OKC, I'm going to say that draft pick ends up going either 11 or 10, but at the same time, that doesn't get the Rockets the draft pick they need. That doesn't give the Rockets their draft pick back. And then I think the Brooklyn pick might end up being good. I think this is a pick that, it could take, this could be, I'm not going to say it's going to end up number 1 overall, but I could see this draft pick, going good for this Rockets team. I could see that this, taking a, better, I could see this, I could see it I could see that, you always see a surprise. Like, I'm trying to think last year if there were any surprises, but you always see a surprise, a team that you didn't think was going to, in the top 10, it was supposed to be like in the top 10, get near the top 5 or be in the top 5 or the top 4. And I believe the Brooklyn pick definitely could do that. I'm going to say the Brooklyn pick ends up being either 6 or 7. I'm going to say the Brooklyn pick ends up number 7, and the Rockets get the 7th overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft. But the question becomes, what do you do with that draft pick? So I'm going to say the Rockets draft picks end up, I'm going to say 7 and 10. But the 10th overall pick you don't get to keep. So I'm going to say the Rockets end up with 7 and 10, but you only get to keep pick 7 if that happens. Let me know your thoughts, and peace out. Go Rockets.